two sisters, you know, got their dad drunk and slept with their dad and had kids by their dad. Right now, I am actually reading the Bible again. 3,566,480 letters. I never thought I would read the entire Bible. Like, what can man do unto me? What can they say about me? What can they do to me if I already have God? Trying to, you know, you married, you trying to sleep with this other man. Like, come on, y'all gotta read it, man. You gotta read it. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Yasherica, and today's video is going to be about how to read the entire Bible. Okay, so obviously I would not be trying to give you guys this advice if I haven't already done so. So yes, I have read the entire Bible. And before I get into the tips on how I did it, I want to give you some of the numbers, right? So as far as numbers, I am on allaboutbible.com, and they have this article that talks about the number of chapters, verses, and books in the Bible. So there are there's two testaments, right? So you have the Old Testament and the New Testament. Okay, so total within both of them, the Old and the New Testament, there are 66 books. So by books, that would be the names of them. So, you know, the first one is Genesis, right? You have Genesis, you have Exodus, Leviticus. Right now, I am actually reading the Bible again. I've done it last year, and it took me about 5 to 6 months, around 6 months. I believe I started around June, and I finished I believe right before Christmas in December. So yes, but I've started again. This time I started a little bit late. I started in this month of July, and right now I am in Leviticus. I just started that this morning, so I've already read Genesis and Exodus, and I'm going to get into the numbers and how I did that. But so yes, there's the two testaments, the Old Testament and the New Testament. There's 66 books in each. There's 39 books in the Old Testament and 27 in the New Testament. There are a total of 1,189 chapters, okay? Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but some of them are really, really short, okay? Some of them are really, really short. And so, yeah, you're probably wondering, you know, how did I pull that off to be able to read all of that? But some of them are short. The total chapters in the Old Testament are 929. The New Testament has 260. Verses, let's see. Verses for both are 31,102. There are 783,134 words. Again, that's for both. 3,566,480 letters. So it gets very specific as far as what's there. So I will link this website below, so you can go in and see, you know, how many are in both and how many are in each separately between the two. So yeah, to tell you which book has is the smallest, which is the biggest in terms of, I guess, verses and words and stuff like that. Which is, yeah, so yes, it's a lot. It is a lot of interesting things in here. So yeah, I wanted to start with some of the numbers, some of the Bible facts before I gave you guys the tips. Now, with all those numbers, I know it sounds a little bit discouraging. You may not feel like you can pull it off, but trust me, you can pull it off. I did. You know, I never thought I would read the entire Bible. Like, I never thought I would have time to do that. I never thought, let alone be doing it again this year. So yes, so I have 2 ways that I do it, 2 ways that help me. So I want to get into that. Before we get into that, let me show you guys my Bible. You have seen it on the thumbnail. So I have pictures on the thumbnail. So this is how I look. It says Holy Bible, red letter edition. So let me show that. So in the New Testament, in the New Testament, if Jesus is speaking, you will have whatever is in red is what he says. So this is the type I have, and it has a few pictures in this one as well. This Bible here was my great-grandmother's. It belonged to my great-grandmother, so I take very good care of this Bible. This is the King James Version, okay? So yes, the King James. Let's see if I can find. Okay, so yeah, so this is it here. So up here is telling me all the books and how many chapters and what page every book starts on. Up here is the Old Testament, down here is the New Testament, and these are the same things, it's just in alphabetical order down here. But as I said, I am in Leviticus right now, and I started last Sunday, and today's Tuesday, correct? Let me make sure. Yes, today is Tuesday. So it's been a week and 2 days, and I have read so far, I believe 95 chapters already. So yes, this is where I am right now. So I read this much on this side, and this is how much I have left. So yes, that is where I am right now. Now, let me say, let's get into the numbers, right? So I've already read 2 books. Okay, so I've already read Genesis and Exodus. Genesis has 50 chapters. Okay, Exodus has 40. Right, so I've already read those, and I've read 5 chapters this morning for Leviticus. Now, what I've done, let me see which, like I said, I have 2 ways that help me do this, and I'm trying to figure out which one. I'm just gonna do it in the order that I have it in. So the first tip that I have for you guys is to have it read to you. Okay, so that is something that I do. I have it read to me. So you can get a Bible app. The one I have is called Daily Devotion, yes, you can have it read to you. You can pick, it lets you pick which version you have, which version of the Bible you have. So again, mine's is the King James Version. So you can pick which one you have, and it has all of the, you know, testaments, books, chapters, and you can just have it read it to you. You can pick and choose, you know, if there's a special part you want to read again, you can always go back to it, so you don't have to necessarily do it in order. But when you're having it read to you, you can also choose, let me see, how do I do this? You can choose the speed. Yeah, you can choose the speed. It really depends on which app you're using. But again, I'm using Daily Devotion. And so yes, I have it read to me. Now, you may ask, you know, well, if I'm having it read to me, why do I, you know, have the Bible? This is something that I do personally. It's easier for me to follow along in the actual book. So I don't just, you know, look at the screen as it's reading it. You can, but I use my actual book. I use my actual Bible. So as it's reading through the phone, I'm following along in the actual textbook. Now, something else I do is I turn my notifications off. I turn on Do Not Disturb. And now I have a specific one where it's like, if I turn it on, it'll have this heart symbol, and it says Father, you know, so Father God. That's what I have it labeled as. So I'll turn it on to that setting, and it's its own little Do Not Disturb. So yeah, that's what I use. So even though I'm not on my phone, I turn that on so no notifications will make any sounds or interrupt it. So that's another thing that helps me kind of get straight to it. Yeah, I'll turn on my Do Not Disturb, and I'll let it read it to me. Now, the other part to it is I split it in the day. I split it throughout the day. So with Genesis and Exodus, like I said, Genesis has 50 chapters, Exodus had 40. What I typically do is I do at least 10 chapters a day. Okay, 10 chapters a day, not 10 books. Can't get through 10 books. Oh, you might can, but I don't have that time. I don't have that much time. But yes, chapters. I do 10 chapters a day. So how I usually do it is I do 5 in the morning and 5 at night. Okay, so when I wake up in the morning, I start with 5 chapters. Then at the end of the day, before I go to bed, I do another 5 chapters. Now, let me see, where am I at right now? Leviticus, I believe, has 27. So let me double check really quick. Yes, Leviticus has 27, so I'm gonna have to split that up a little bit differently when you have a chapter that's not, you know, even in numbers. You know, you just have to split it up a little bit. So there'll be some days I'll have to do a little bit more than just 10, because what I don't want to do is let me see, if I do 10 today and 10 tomorrow, and then that would leave me with like 7 on the 3rd day. See, I'm probably gonna try to finish it within 2 days, so I'd have to split it up a little bit more. But I don't think I'm gonna go a 3rd day just to do 7. You could, but knowing me, I'm probably not going to do it that way. So I'm probably going to try to do the 27 chapters in 2 days. So I believe what I'm going to do is do 15 today. So I've already done 5 this morning. So I'm probably going to do 5 more this afternoon, and then another 5 tonight. So this time I'll read the Bible 3 times today instead of 2. So I'll just do it that way. So that's the way you can do it. That helps if you split it throughout the day. If you read it, you can do it straight. If you wanted to do all 10 at once, you can, but it's just easier for me to split it throughout the day, because some of the chapters are longer than others, and sometimes it does get a little bit draining, trying to follow along, trying to keep up. So 5 is my typical number that I go for at a time, but I'm gonna have to do a little bit more than that tomorrow. So probably I'll see depending on how much I have left. Let's see, if I have 15 and 15 is 30, so minus 3, so 12. Okay, so yeah, if I do 15 today, that will leave me with 12 for tomorrow. So I would do 6 and 6 instead of 5 and 5. So yeah, that time I'll do 1 more chapter more, so than I typically do at a time. So but that's how you get it done. Like I said, some chapters are longer than others. Some have more verses and stuff like that. So that can affect it. Now, Psalms, the book of Psalms have a lot of short chapters. And while we're on this topic of the Bible, I'm going to share. Let's see. I'm gonna share my favorite verse. Well, let me just see if I can find it. Should be that's something else, in the app that I use. I can bookmark or highlight certain areas if I want to leave notes. So I've done that. And so let me see, my favorite verse is Psalms 118. So it's the book of Psalms, chapter 118, verse 6, and it reads, "The Lord is on my side, I will not fear. What can man do unto me?" That's a question. The last part, what can man do unto me? That is my favorite verse. And it just reminds me in a way that, I have God. I have God. The Lord is on my side. So, I will not fear. I'm not going to fear what's going on in the world. What can man do unto me? What can they say about me? What can they do to me if I already have God? That is my favorite one. That is so touching to me. And sometimes I like to go back to that and just remind myself, what's wrong with you? Why are you worrying? Why are you worrying? Why are you stressing about this? You got God. You got the Lord, right? So that is my favorite. That's my favorite verse. I have some other ones saved in here, but that is my top one. Yeah, that's my favorite one. So as you can, let me show you guys. This is it, and as you can see, I have it highlighted. So in my little Bible app, so I like that. And it's stuff like that is faster to get to on the app than it is in the actual book, to try to find that and find the highlight and everything. And I could bookmark it, but then you know, I don't want a bunch of sticky pads hanging out of my Bible. Like I said, this is a very special Bible from my great grandmother, and I keep it clean, okay? So yes, I use the app for the other things, but yeah, that is my favorite. That is my favorite verse. And so yeah, once again, you know, have it read to you. That's a fast, good way to get through it, especially because it's just so many difficult names and words in there, and you know, sometimes you just don't know how to pronounce it, and that could be a hold up. So you know, I like having it read to me, so I could just get through it, fly right through it, and then splitting it throughout the day, that helps as well. So yeah, those are the tips that I have. Oh yeah, and again, follow along. I follow along in the actual Bible, not on the app. You know, that's another thing, like the screen eventually may irritate your eyes, so it's just easier for me to just look in the actual book on paper, you know. So that's another way. So but I hope, you know, this is probably one of the more shorter videos that I have, but I hope this video has helped you guys, and you guys have gotten some tips and encouragement. If that's something that you really want to do, you want to read the Bible, but it's like, oh, you know, it's so much, it's so long, you know, I'm not gonna have time, all those type of things, you know. I just, you know, follow the tips that I give you guys, and it's really not going to feel that long. Like I said, I got it done within 6 months. So you know, yeah, those numbers, all those books, all those chapters, all those verses are really not that much, not that bad. If you're, you know, reading it throughout the day and having it read to you, it makes it so much more easier. So if you follow those tips, you'll get it done, you know, especially if you put your mind to it. At first, you know, I've been iffy about it, but I've stayed consistent and I got through it. You know, if you put your mind to it, you can get it done. You can get it done. You'll finish it. And you may not finish it. You may finish it earlier than me, or it could be later. You know, the timing just doesn't matter. That doesn't really matter, as long as, you know, you're getting a word from God, and you know, you're keeping up with your Bible. That is what's important. Again, you can always go back to your favorite parts, save them, bookmark them, highlight them, and go back to your favorite verses like I do, and you know, make notes of what verses stick out to you. So, you know, that helps as well, because there are so many things. Like if you go on, I've seen on Instagram or on Pinterest and stuff like that, I've seen people post like, okay, you know, this is the verse you want to go to if you're feeling anxious, you know, and stuff like that. So you can go on there, read it yourself, and find your own parts that have meaning to you, you know. So I would highly encourage you guys to read the Bible. You know, if you're doing it in this way, it really is. It gets interesting. It gets fun. There's so many things in there, you guys, that you wouldn't believe, or, you know, it's things in there that you see going on today, and it's just wild. It's crazy. It's a lot of crazy stories in there. A lot of, you know, wild people and stuff like that. So it's I encourage you guys to read it. It's really interesting. You know, it's not all, you know, sunshine and rainbows and stuff like that. You know, there are some deceitful people in there, you know. So there may be people in there that, you know, if you consider yourself a sinner, there may be people in there that make you look good. Like, I'm serious. Like, it's very interesting. Some of the chapters, some of the stories that go on gets very interesting. So I would encourage you guys to read it. Let me see. I'm gonna give you a piece. Now, I've read this recently. I want to say this is Genesis, but it could be Exodus. But there is somewhere in there where it was like these two girls, two sisters, got their dad drunk and slept with their dad and had kids by their dad. It's some crazy things in there. Let me tell you something else. It's a story in there where, let's see, who was that? I want to say, who was it? Was it Joseph? Joseph, he had a lot of brothers, and his brothers was jealous of him and the dreams he were having, and they gave him away to Pharaoh, who was a king. He was a king, right? I believe he was a king. He had some type of high authority. I believe that was Egypt, right? I'm not 100% sure, you guys. I think it was, but and he was there, and when he first got there, the king Pharaoh, he had a wife, and the wife wanted Joseph, and he would not sleep with her, and she was trying to get him to sleep with her, and he wouldn't do it, and he left something one time, and so she lied and she said that he did, and they put him in jail for that, for her lies, and it was just, you see that stuff today, like, trying to, you married, you trying to sleep with this other man, like, come on, y'all gotta read it, man. You gotta read it. I'm telling you, there's some crazy things in there. I'm like, what is this, like, oh man. And of course there are the more known stories, like Jesus turning water into wine. Now, I'm nowhere near that right now. That's closer to the New Testament. I'm still pretty much in the beginning of the Old Testament. But yes, there are stories like that, or Jesus helping the blind man, and all those type of things. So there are some good things that go on in there, and there are some bad things that go on in there. So, I love it, you guys. It's very interesting to me. There aren't too many books that I go back and read again. I haven't really read books in years. Like, I used to be big on them, like in elementary school. I used to read a lot of books. Maybe a little bit middle, came like high school and college, I was not reading like that. But the Bible, for me to be reading it again, you guys, that just says something, okay? That just says something. So I highly recommend you get to it. Get you a nice app, honey. It don't matter. You ain't got to read it yourself. It ain't really all that much as cheating, but heck, at least you getting it. At least you reading it. At least you getting the word from God. That's all that matters, okay? I'll pull out my app, get my book, and sit there, follow along, and I don't, some people, that's good. Some people need to, hear it. It's easier for them to kind of get like a vivid picture of what's going on. So I like that as well. But if you prefer to read it yourself, by all means, you can do that. If you prefer to follow along in the app, you can do that. If you prefer to read it all at once, you can do that. If you were going to do 10 chapters a day and just do it all in the morning or all at night, you can do that. But these are just some tips that help me, reading them, splitting them out throughout the day, having it read to me, and just following along in my actual Bible. Those are what helped me. Again, some people need to hear it. That's what helps me. I'm sure that's what helps with my memory, to be able to tell you guys, what was going on, what I just read, and all those type of things. So yeah, as a matter of fact, right now I'm in the, like I said, the beginning of Leviticus, and they are doing all of these different sacrifices. They're sacrificing different animals, and I don't know, wringing their head and letting the blood, I don't know, it's it's something like that. But they're doing their sacrifices to the Lord, to God. And Right now Moses is in there. Moses is, you know, he's leading the children of Israel, and you know, so yes, as you can see, you know, I'm keeping up with what's going on. So I'm not just reading just to, you know, say I've done it. Like I'm actually remembering what I've read and what's going on. So you guys get into the word, okay? Get into the word, get into the Bible. It's actually fun, okay? It is actually fun. And if you like videos like this, I do have more videos where I talk about God. I do have a video that I just did right here in this parking lot before this video, which was how to pair your plans with God's plan. And then I had 2 more that I called the God and Girl Duo. There's 2 separate videos. There's a part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is how to trust God on your journey. Part 2 is how to step into your purpose with God. So that's part 1 and part 2. And then I have one I did earlier, which talked about my relationship with God, how I started my relationship with him as a teenager. So I have that one as well. I will link all of them below. All the videos that I have related to God will be under this one. So if you like videos like this where I'm talking about God, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and you stay tuned to any videos I have like that are new and upcoming. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.